Okay, what if I'm a bow hunter? What vane do I choose? What vane is perfect for me? Well, that's going to take a little bit of experimentation, but it really boils down to what broadhead am I using? What broadhead are you using? Now, let's cover these briefly. We got some fixed blade broadheads here. These are real popular. Some people are just fixed blade people. They do not want to shoot a mechanical broadhead. Personally, I shoot a lot of mechanical broadheads, but now if I'm going to shoot a fixed blade broadhead, say I'm going to Idaho elk hunting and I have to shoot a fixed blade broadhead, what do I take into consideration to come up with a vane setup? Well, the one thing I've learned with broadheads is they have blade surface. They basically act like they have fletching on the front of the arrow. So I need a big fletching like this blazer vane to control a fixed blade. If I'm shooting a fixed blade broadhead like this one here, or a big large one like this especially, I'm going to want a lot of fletching on the rear of that shaft to slow it down and to correct that arrow and to control that broadhead. I'm going to opt for a high profile vane in a 3 or a 4 fletch pattern. For me, personally, I'm going to run a 4 fletch. Now, let's move on to mechanical broadheads. Now, mechanical broadheads are by far my favorite. You know, they just lead to better accuracy. Anytime you have blade surface on the front of an arrow, it's inherently going to be less accurate. Now, there's many popular broadhead designs on the market in mechanicals. You've got a Schwacker broadhead here. This broadhead has very little blade surface. Let's move on to a really popular Rage. There's still blade surface there. It's still going to have a little steering ability on the front of the arrow, but not quite as much as that fixed blade. Another version, a Montec here, has a little bit of blade surface. It's going to have a little bit of steering, so you need to do a little bit of experimenting. A broadhead like this Schwacker here, I might be able to get away with a 3 fletch pattern like this. It's really quiet, it's really aerodynamic. The higher you go in a profile in a vane, the more noise you're going to get. Very important in a bow hunting situation that you eliminate noise from your vanes. You really don't have the option as much when you're dealing with fixed blades, because you need that extra vane. But when you get down to mechanical broadheads like this with low blade surface, you can go to these lower profile vanes that are stiffer and going to create less noise. Now, if I'm going to go to something with a little more blade surface, like a Rage or this Tekin here, I'm probably going to opt for a little bit higher profile, something like a Blazer X2 here in a 4 fletch. It's going to give me really good downrange acceleration. It's going to give me really good control and adequate control. Whereas this pattern here would probably be on the borderline of enough when you're dealing with a fixed blade broadhead. It would be very adequate when you're dealing with a mechanical broadhead with a little bit of blade surface. Follow these principles, do a little experimentation on your own, and I'm sure you'll find the perfect combination for your broadheads. Okay, we've covered 3 fletch versus 4 fletch, high profile vanes versus low profile vanes, the effect of noise and drag. If you'll apply these few principles to your hunting setup, I'm sure you'll take your broadhead accuracy to the next level.